a canonical URL is used to inform search engines that similar URLs represent the same content. Sometimes you may have products or content accessible through multiple URLs. By using canonical URLs, you can have these variations on your site without negatively impacting your search engine rankings. In this lecture, we'll cover what canonical URLs are and how to use them. Hello everyone, good to see you again. Okay, a canonical tag is a piece of HTML code that identifies the main version of duplicate, similar, or nearly identical pages. In simple terms, if you have the same or similar content available on different URLs, you can use canonical tags to specify which version is the primary one for indexing. This link tag is placed in the head element and has two attributes, rel and href. The rel attribute must be set to canonical, and the href attribute contains the address of the page you wanna be indexed instead of the current page's address. The basic idea is to choose one canonical version of your content when you have multiple versions, and direct search engines to that version. By adding the canonical element to a URL, you inform search engines that it is the preferred version to display in search results. In other words, a canonical URL is a technical solution for managing duplicate content, because duplicate content can negatively impact SEO. Okay. When search engines encounter multiple very similar pages, they struggle to determine which one to include in search results. As a result, all those similar pages may end up with lower rankings. For example, we might have a post or product that belongs to two categories and accessible through two URLs. By setting one of the URLs as a canonical URL, we instruct search engines to display that specific URL in search results. Google doesn't like it when you have duplicate content on your website. It causes problems for them in a few ways. First, they struggle to decide which version of a page to include in their search results. They will only index one version. Second, they have difficulty determining which version of a page should rank for relevant search queries. Third, they don't know whether they should concentrate the link equity on one page or distribute it among multiple versions. Also, having too much duplicate content can affect your website's crawl budget. This means that Google may spend time crawling multiple versions of the same page instead of finding other important content on your website. Canonical tags provide a solution to these issues. They allow you to inform Google about the preferred version of a page that should be indexed, ranked, and where the link equity should be concentrated. Okay. If you don't specify a canonical URL, Google will make the decision on its own. However, relying solely on Google for this decision isn't a great idea. They may choose a version of your page as the canonical one that you don't actually want. Alright. You might think your website doesn't have duplicate content because you haven't published the same posts or pages multiple times. However, search engines view URLs, not web pages. This means that even if two URLs lead to the same web page with identical or similar content, search engines consider them as separate pages. These types of URLs are called parameterized URLs and are a common cause of duplicate content, specifically on e-commerce websites. For example, on a website selling shoes, the main category page might have this URL. To filter by size, a parameter is added to the URL. If you filter for only red shoes, another parameter is added. Despite the minor differences in content, Google treats these as separate pages. By adding a suitable canonical URL to this page, we ensure that Google recognizes all these URLs as a single unique page. Alright, implementing canonicals is easy. There are 5 important rules to remember. Rule number 1. Always use absolute URLs instead of relative paths. Here's the recommended structure, and avoid using this structure. Rule number 2. Use lowercase URLs to prevent Google from treating uppercase and lowercase URLs as different. Rule number 3. Use the correct domain version. If you have switched to SSL or secure version, don't declare any non-SSL URLs in your canonical tags. For example, use this version if you're on a secure domain, and use this version if you're not using secure domain. Rule number 4. Use self-referential canonical tags, which means the canonical tag on a page points to itself. For example, if the URL is like this, the self-referential canonical on that page would be this one. Rule number 5. Use one canonical tag per page. If a page has multiple canonical tags, Google will ignore all of them. So make sure to have only one canonical tag on each page. Alright, let's add a canonical tag to our HTML page. Okay, we'll use the canonical value for the rel attribute. And for now, let's put the text website URL in the href attribute. Okay, done. See you soon.